Let's start.
Hello, sports fans.
Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by.
Now, here's JP.
All right, we've got football to talk about. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We got football to talk about. It's a Monday coming off it's a preseason game, but we absolutely love us some football. Is my Wi-Fi working here? Are we on? I can't really tell. Hello, America. We'll go with it anyway. Yeah, we got lots to talk about. Bucs and Bengals as the Bucs get a win, but more importantly, they show they can absolutely run the football, and they can throw the football. They can throw the football to the other team. There is a legitimate backup quarterback competition confirmed by Todd Bowles yesterday at the press conference. So we'll get into that, all the Bucs and Bengals stuff, and we'll get into a lot of football over the weekend. Olympics, Brooke Bennett's going to join us at 11:15, our top 5 moments and lowest 5 or funniest moments, funny or farcical. So we got all kinds of good stuff. Good morning to you, Nick Geddes. How are you?
I'm doing good. Hope everybody enjoyed their first preseason. I watched a lot of preseason football this weekend. And I'm not ashamed to say
it. Are we up? Our faces up? Because all I can see is the graphic.
Yeah, we're up.
All right, because something's going on with my thing here. So I'll just trust you. It's weird. Wi-Fi's been weird today. So
yeah,
cool.
we're up though. We're up on my end at least. But no, I watched a lot of preseason football, more than the Bucs. I even yesterday I made it through 3 quarters of the Cowboys and Rams, watching Trey Lance versus Stetson Bennett.
Good God,
a true barn burner.
Trey Lance hasn't played a lot in his career, but he played a lot yesterday.
And somehow he looks more raw 4 years after he got drafted, if that's possible.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, he hadn't played, for God's sake. He hasn't played at all.
Barely played any football, but obviously we're going to get into the whole thing that we saw with the Bucs, because I thought there were a lot of positives to come into that game.
Yeah. Agreed. And there were a few negatives as well. So we'll get into all of it. So if you guys want to join, I see Nathan Elliott, James are already in here. Thank you guys for jumping in. You can always comment on YouTube, on our Facebook page, also at the JP Peterson Show. FanStream JP still not working on Twitter, but it might be back soon. I got a like from Elon Musk on one of my, and I put a little thing on the bottom of it. It might be the parody account, but that's okay. Like, hey, by the way, unsuspend my account. So hopefully that'll happen soon. But anyway, here we go. Lots to talk about, the highs and the lows from the football game. Now, I'm going to start with the quarterbacks, because why not, right? And Kyle Trask got his chance to play a full half. Some with a makeshift first-team line in the interior. Cody Mock got a lot of playing time. Graham Barton got a lot of playing time. Bredesen got some playing time at the left guard. So the interior, didn't see any of Tristan Wirfs or Luke Gedeke. That's fine. Those guys will be ready to play. But it was, I thought, an uneven performance by Kyle Trask. Now, before all you Gator fans jump on me, and I've had this all weekend, because I was not swallowing the narrative that Kyle Trask played a great game. He made some great throws. There's no question about that. The throw to Rock Jarrett under pressure was unbelievable. It's a great throw. Throw over the middle to Trey Palmer, right in stride. Really, really good throw. A couple of great throws to Jalen McMillan. Good stuff. There was some really, really good stuff in there. And unfortunately, there was some really bad stuff. I mean, he was 14 for 20, but had 4 turnover-worthy plays, borderline 5. You can't do that. If you're the backup quarterback of this team that has a really good chance to win the division, you can't come in if Blake Baker goes down intermittently in a game or God forbid, goes down for a few weeks and turn the ball over. That's the one thing you can't do. And that's what we've seen with Kyle Trask. It just, you see some good throws, and then you see a lot of careless throws. There was the pick that was underthrown. There was another one that should have been picked, and I thought was picked, could have been challenged and picked, the one to Devin Culp. And that ball was behind him on a cross when he had 2 other guys open. There was a third down throw in the flat that to Bucky Irving. Had the linebacker been looking up, would have been a pick 6. But it said the linebacker was just playing the back and didn't look for the football. It would have thrown it right to him. Pick 6. There was another play he threw into a crowd And then there was another play where the almost the same as the interception, where the corner moved back and got his hand on the ball as he was trying to fit it in between the corner and the safety versus the cover 2. So you've got 4 to 5 turnover worthy plays in 20 throws. That's not going to get it. It's not going to get it at all. It's going to cost you games. Your backup quarterback, you want to come in, be efficient, not make mistakes, give your defense a chance to win the game, right? And if you're coming in throwing, careless passes all over the yard, that's not what you want in a backup quarterback. Now, contrast that with what John Wolford did. A very efficient 12 of 18 for 131 yards. And as far as my eye goes, did not put the ball in danger once. Very decisive, somewhat conservative, but that's what I want from my backup quarterback, and made a couple of really good throws that put them in position to score at the end of the game. And that's what I want from my backup quarterback. I don't know, that to me was, and I was very effusive in my praise of Kyle Trask last year in the preseason. I thought he played really, really well. And but this preseason and this training camp, we've been at every single practice. There's a lot of good and there's a lot of bad. And that's you can't have that inconsistency as a backup quarterback. As a starting quarterback, you can't have that type of inconsistency because turnovers are going to kill you. What did you see, Nick?
I thought Kyle made some really strong intermediate throws. Some good where he had to kind of put some nice touch on it. I saw that, but I saw some other throws that he didn't put the necessary touch on it that you needed. Like even for example, the throw down the sideline on the right side to Devin Culp. And that was the one where Devin Culp got his head taken off. And
yes, yeah.
Shocker,
way,
no penalty.
That,
yeah. Shocker, no penalty called.
Right.
But it kind of was a hospital pass, if we're being completely honest with you. 100%. So I'd like to see. So that's a good example, I think, of a throw that you need more touch on. The interception was awful. I actually went and looked into PFF's grades on Kyle this morning, and I thought it was interesting. They only charted him for one turnover-worthy play, and I thought he had a turnover-worthy play on the first drive when
it was almost the second interception. How was that not a turnover-worthy play?
That's what I'm saying. Like he waited forever to throw the screen to Bucky Irvin, and it was like, don't even throw it. Just spike it or throw it into the stands.
Right.
You said you had what, 4 turnover-worthy plays? I had
4,
him right
borderline
around
5.
Yeah, I had him right around 3 or 4 as well. And he reminds me of. I think this is a very. You could tell me if this is a good example or not.
Right.
He's got some Jameis Winston in him.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he's the talent of a Jameis Winston, but in the sense of, man, he'll make some beautiful throws over the middle of the field, some of them in tight coverage, and you're like, oh, Kyle's got in a rhythm right now.
Yeah.
And then Kyle will throw just an absolute stinker on the same drive. Yeah. He'll throw it into double coverage, and it's like, what are you looking at, Kyle? And those are the things we're in year 4 now of Kyle Trask. I know he hasn't hardly played, really at all in the regular season. And I think it's fair to question, if Baker Mayfield had to sit out a game or he got hurt or something, do you trust Kyle Trask to come in and win you football games? And I think that's a big question mark right now. I hope it doesn't come to that, obviously. But I just think at year 4 by now, you would have liked to have seen a little bit more polish out of Kyle Trask. I think that's a fair assessment.
And I think it's interesting what you said. You trust him to come in and win you a football game. And that's the thing. Your backup quarterback, you're not, okay, we're going to need you to throw for 350 today and 4 touchdowns for us to win. That's not the way this team is built. And I'm going to get to the run game in a minute. But you now, I think, going to have a very successful running game. And I think this defense is going to be a top 10 defense. I believe that. And you can't have a quarterback, especially a backup quarterback, come in and throw 3 picks and cost you the game. You just want him to give you, like Wolford, 12 out of 18, 131 and a half of football, no dangerous throws.
I will say, I think Wolford, I'm not going to come here and tell you John Wolford played lights out. I don't think John Wolford is necessarily if he's an upgrade over Kyle Trask, I think we're splitting hairs here. I think both ways. But I thought John Wolford took a couple I understand John Wolford was not playing with He's
Yeah.
playing with guys who are going to be
And one of those sacks, number 60, got beat right off the get-go, right up
right.
the
But
middle. You got no chance.
I think there was times where Wolford looked a little
Yeah.
skittish in the pocket, maybe.
I'm not
a
saying
little
he was
bit.
lights
These
out.
are
What I'm
not,
saying
but
is he didn't put the ball in harm's way.
right. That was the difference. Is he didn't put the ball in harm's way, like you said. And oftentimes when it comes to backup quarterback, it's like the backup quarterback. You want the guy that's almost like going to make no noise whatsoever. Sometimes, like
Exactly.
it just run through the system. You can throw all the cliches at it that you want. It's why some of the failed starters don't make the best backups.
Mhm.
Because in a way, it's like they're still trying to make like reckless plays,
Right.
and you don't want that out of your backup quarterback.
No.
But Kyle Trask kind of, he's teetering on that line sometimes.
Yeah. And I asked Todd Bowles about this yesterday, and we're going to play the Bowles from yesterday after he watched the tape. And he said, yeah, there's definitely a quarterback competition, and the games are going to matter. So next week, I wouldn't be surprised to see Wolford get the start and get the first team, so-called first team reps, because you want to see him go up against the better teams, and you're going to see them also get plenty of reps in the joint practices with the Jags. That's going to be important as well. I won't be in Jacksonville to see that, but we'll hopefully get some reports back on that. Get to see some of the tape. But as far as I'm going to say, and just one preseason game, by the way, and we're not going crazy about this. I'm not saying throw Kyle Trask out. It's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying that these games matter, and Todd Bowles backed that up. They matter, and he did the one thing that you cannot do as a backup quarterback. So I think that's an issue. Now the run game. Oh man. Oh Lordy. It's so good to see a run game with some space for running backs to move. My God, that touchdown run by Bucky Irving was just quintessential Liam Cohen play calling that you would not have seen from Dave Canales. One of the reasons the Bucs were so bad in the red zone is they couldn't run the football in the red zone. And it was because their damn running game was so predictable. I mean, you could hear it in the players mic'd up on the other team. You heard it in the offseason that, even from the Bucs defenders, is it was so predictable. And there was no space for guys to run. And so now what do we do from the 6-yard line? We go four wide with Bucky Irving, and then Bucky actually came back into the backfield. We started in 5 wide. Then Bucky came back into the backfield on a shift, and then we handed to him on a draw. And by the way, Bredesen with a great block. The interior line with tremendous performance on that particular play. Graham Barton took his guy into the end zone. Cody Mock just mauled his guy, and Schooley, the left tackle, did a really, really nice job occupying his guy. And it's kind of an RPO, so the defensive ends kind of wait to see if Bucky gets the ball, and that's the beautiful thing about Bucky. Once he got it, he's so quick to accelerate in that draw play. So he gets the ball at about the 10-yard line in the backfield, and he's into the freaking end zone like that. So that defensive end, even though he made the right read and he goes right to him and he's unblocked, he doesn't have the time to get in front of him. And then he has to take him down from the side, and he's too powerful that you're not going to stop him with a side tackle from 3 yards out of the end zone. It's a great design of a play. There's no real second level there because they're so spread out, and just a great job of scheming it up and running the football. And then you saw there was another 9-yard run that Bucky had that was just quintessential Bucky Irving. They had a nice end zone view of it in the replay, because the linebackers, it's just so hard to find him. You can't see him. And then all of a sudden this hole opens up, and he's got such good vision. He hits the hole, bounces it out, and he's through that hole in a heartbeat before the linebackers can even see him. I think both linebackers on that particular play weren't even blocked. And he just ran right by him for 9 yards. And Bucky averaged almost 5 yards a carry. Sean Tucker, who had a great night, averaged 6.8 yards per carry. They ran for, I think, a total of 130-some yards. And I'm here to tell you, that run game makes all the difference in the world. What did you see, Nick?
You said it was nice to see some space in the run game. To me, it was nice to see some guys just get the ball and go.
Yeah.
And I think Todd even emphasized this. It's like, you don't always have to just sit there and kind of just, pedal your feet kind of in motion, waiting for something to open up. Holes in the NFL, like there's a difference between like NFL, like an NFL hole, you know what I mean? And then like a hole like in college or something. Like in college, it seems like they're more open and it's easier to hit it. In the NFL, it might just be like a little bit, you know what I mean? And you don't have time. You just have to go. And I felt Bucky Irving did a really good job of doing that. I thought he was physical in the way that he runs. And that was kind of like the evaluation on him coming out of Oregon was like, he's a small guy, but he runs like he's at least 20 to 30 pounds bigger. I saw some of that on display. And I think the thing that really helped him and Sean Tucker was there was some beef in the middle of that O-line. And his name was Graham Barton.
Yeah.
And football guy Jason Like strikes again. Yeah. Because I was already very confident. You were very confident. We've all been very confident that Graham Barton was going to be a hit. Yeah. And I don't want to overreact after seeing him play 18 snaps in the first preseason game. But that dude was mauling people. Yeah. I was mauling people on that run for the touchdown. It was just beautiful. Yeah. He joins Malk a little bit to take the nose tackle out of the equation. And then he gets upfield and starts just absolutely bullying the linebacker and pushing him all the way back, finishes the play. He's waiting for the whistle to be thrown. Yeah. I mean, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Yeah. PFF had him at an 87 overall grade, which is fantastic. But it wasn't just him. Malk had some good moments. This Luke Haggard, hello, who are you? Yeah. Undrafted out of Indiana last year. He was actually the Bucs' highest graded player the entire night. Thought he was great on the O-line. And Elijah Klein, the 6th-round development pick. Yeah. I mean, I know this has been Bredesen's job at left guard, but don't rule out Elijah Klein competing for that job at some point throughout the season because he looked like he could play. Start some games. I think Elijah Klein could play. So the offensive line, the run game, the synergy between those two things, and just having some beef in the middle of your offensive line. No Robert Haynes. Like when Robert Hainsey went in there, I guess what? There was a difference. Yeah. There was a difference. And he had the bad snap, not Barton. And he had the bad snap. So Robert Hainsey, to me, like he's a backup. That's just what he is. And the Bucs have gotten so much better in those positions. Yep. And as James says here, I mean, think about this for a while. Barton, Wirfs, and Gedeke anchoring this line. I mean, I think you throw Malk in there too. I think Malk's going to turn. I think Malk is going to turn heads this year. Yeah, he looked good. And Bredesen had a great block on that touchdown as well. But he's been in the league a little while. We know what he is. Yeah, you're going to have to hide him a little bit. Yeah, Elijah Klein may take that job by the time it's over. But the bottom line is, with those three guys that he just mentioned, you got a hell of a line right there. And I wouldn't even a decade to come, hopefully. Yeah, and I know it's one game in, but I wouldn't even fool around. The running back room to me, I'd keep 3, and I think it's the 3 Rachaad White added to Bucky Irving and Sean Tucker. I mean, Chase Edmonds, sorry, but he's a vet. He's older now. He had injuries last year. He's not playing right now. I don't think there's a need to keep 4 running backs. So, and Sean Tucker, I mean, when you run 10 for 68, 6.8 yards per carry, that's easy math for me to do. He showed me some really good vision. He had a couple of cutback plays that were just really natural. And that's what, I've always said this about running backs. It's a talent. It's very much a talent. It's not about speed. It's not, you can't be slow. But you can, every good running back runs below a 4.5, right? But to me, it's the guys that have the vision. And that's just a natural talent to see things flowing in front of you and be able to figure out where that hole is. Emmitt Smith was maybe the best ever at it. And this kid, Tucker, looks like he's got it. And here's the thing, and I don't want to, and everybody wants to bounce on Rachaad White that he's not a good running back. Look at his averages. I'm not going to say that until he gets into a legitimate run scheme that's NFL worthy. And I think you're going to see his average go from 3.8 to 4.7 this year easily. Because he'll have opportunities to make people miss. You can't make people miss when there's 8 guys in the hole. There's no room to run. So let's see what he does. I'm excited to see what he does in a game. And I've seen it in practice, and there's gash runs. I mean, gash runs against the good defensive line of the Buccaneers. So I think this run game is going to be so much better, and that's going to make the play action pass game even better, which I think Baker Mayfield is one of the best at it because he hides the ball very well, and he has a strong arm to throw the deep ins and the deep outs, which are really the bread and butter of those play action plays. The exciting thing here too is like this is we're talking about preseason game number 1, and we're raving about some of the run packages that we saw and some of the space that was opened up. they're working in like phase 1 of the playbook right now.
Right.
Like, and from everything that I've heard, and you've been there as well, you could speak to it, from what you've been able to see out of the run packages in practice, like it's a lot more advanced than anything we saw on Saturday night. So like but look, this is how giddy we are, because we saw how it was under Byron Leftwich. We saw how it was under Dave Canales. And it just seems like, Liam Cohen, just watching him on the sideline, I don't know what it is. It's like, maybe I'm over analyzing, but just watching him on the sideline, every time they show him, he just looks like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
There's no adjustment.
Exactly.
He's dialed in. He's comfortable. He's confident because he's done this before. There is no adjustment period. And so 23rd ranked offense last year, I think they're gonna exceed that easily this season.
I think they can get into the top 15. I really, really do.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right. Let's get to some of the a couple more things, standouts that I saw. I thought JJ Russell played fast and played really, really well. I think he and KJ Britt are just they're miles ahead of Devin White without the freelancing baggage. I think that makes your defense so much better. I thought he played Vi Jones, the kid from NC State, Zay Jones' brother, 53. That dude has been flashing in practice. He flashed big time in the game. Should have had a sack on the one ball he knocked away. He's getting tackled from behind. I mean, he showed up a lot. I think they're very, very deep at linebacker. Kalen Deloach showed some stuff as well. They're really, really deep at linebacker.
Yeah, I'm concerned about Servassier Dennis.
He needs to get out there and play.
He's got to get out there and play because I mean, I was thinking about this, like, Kalen Deloach is getting a lot of love, and rightfully so for the way that he played in practice. He didn't play as well in this game.
Yeah.
And sometimes the games are going to matter. And I think about JJ Russell. Nobody's talked about JJ Russell, but if you recall last year, remember when Levante and Devin did not play in week 13 against Carolina? JJ Russell had to come in and start, and he actually played outstanding football.
Played really well.
He played really well. So, JJ Russell, I've seen him play in a regular season atmosphere. I just watched him, quote unquote, lead the defense because to me, he was just all over the place in that first half. I don't think that linebacker competition is going to be interesting for those last 2 spots.
Yeah, they're going to somebody's going to have to try to get to the practice squad. And I don't know. The numbers are Kalen Deloach. I don't think he'll make it to the practice squad. I think somebody will pick him up if they try to put him on there. So but that's good problem to have. Good problem to have, right? Keenan Isaac's pick, that was a thing of beauty. He did not, he got beat off the line a little bit, did not panic, turned, found the ball, and caught the damn thing. Jamel Dean, are you watching?
That's how a Bucs cornerback can do that? They can do this?
That's how you play it. Get in position and find the freaking ball. Stop just looking back at. I hate it when these corners, and I understand why they do it, because you're not supposed to look back to the ball because then you get, it's tough. You can get lost and the ball can be coming right then. You're supposed to wait till the receiver puts his arms up and then strip it, like Merriweather did a great job with that, by the way.
Yeah.
Thought Kayvon Merriweather had a terrific game.
Awesome
at
game.
Safety. Really, really good. And like James said somewhere in here, the depth of this team is so much better. Remember we watched preseason games and our second team would come in and they just get rolled.
Yeah.
Like they've got good players up and down this roster. I mean, this is going to be this best 53 or right 53 is going to be very, very talented.
I mean, think about it. Last year, Christian Izien, for example. Christian Izien last year was like that guy that had the buzz in camp, as the undrafted out of Rutgers. And people were like, oh, has a chance to be your slot corner. And he played well, and he became the slot corner. Now, not necessarily that he played bad last year. He was okay. But all of a sudden, 1 year later, they've put more talent in that room. Christian Izien might not make this roster.
Right.
In fact, I'd probably venture to tell you he won't make this 53-man roster. He's probably going to be on the practice squad. And a guy like Keenan Isaac, for example, I don't think Keenan Isaac had a shot at really making the 53-man roster coming into Saturday's game because I just thought he was a little lower on the totem pole there at cornerback. But when you go make a play like that and you play like he did, all of a sudden, Keenan Isaac gets a look. So the competition has reopened there. But we can take Andrew Hayes off the cornerback competition. He got smoked. Poor Andrew Hayes. And not Josh Hayes. Poor both, because Poor
Josh
Andrew
Hayes
Hayes
got
for the
hung
way
out
he
to
played.
dry.
But Josh Hayes, everybody thought it was Josh Hayes who was getting burnt out there. And no, it was Andrew Hayes. But Josh Hayes also came out of his shoes on the first touchdown,
Yeah.
courtesy of T. Higgins, which I'm not concerned about because Josh Hayes is your gunner. He's not going to be out there really much playing corner. He's going to be your gunner. But yeah, the competition I think is ramped up at a lot of places, and there's more guys. Like usually, I think after some of these games, you kind of take off some guys. Like, okay, he's not making it. He's not
Right.
making it. I feel like those are hard decisions to make right now because a lot of guys flashed.
Yeah. The Bucs are going to be a roster when they start cutting teams that people are going to pick up a bunch of their players.
Oh, and even Jose Ramirez. I wanted to mention him too. I thought
Yeah,
Jose Ramirez, if not for Jackson Carman, the left tackle for Cincinnati, who was holding all over the place, he got called for like 3 penalties. Jose Ramirez was getting into the backfield. He had some good burst in that game.
Yeah, they could have been called holding 1,000 times and did not. There were a lot of instances of that, so it's kind of hard to tell who was getting good pressure or not. All right, to some of the comments here. Thank you guys for jumping in. James says, what I really liked about Saturday's Bucs deaths on both sides of the ball, night and day compared to last season. Totally agree. Christopher Cole says, O-line looks good, and that's without Wirfs and Gedeke. So, yes. Christopher also says, everyone bashing number 21, but he was going against the projected first-round pick. Who was that?
I think that was Andrew Hayes.
Yeah.
Because he was getting burnt pretty bad by Jermaine Burton, who was the 3rd-round pick out of Alabama. If he didn't have the attitude issues and some of the other off-field stuff, he probably would have been a first-round pick.
James also says, I like Wolford. He seems more in control and used his legs very well. Yeah, and he throws such a good ball, a good check down ball. Like when Kyle Trask threw one over the middle to Sean Tucker where he has to jump up for the ball. And by the time you come down, you can't run. The linebacker's going to be on you, as opposed to Wolford, who threw a ball perfectly in stride to either, I think it was Sean Tucker, who turned it into like a 9-yard gain. And that's the difference. You got to be very precise on those throws. And it seems like Trask doesn't take enough time with those throws to make them as accurate as they should be. James says, seems like Trask is playing desperate football. Sorry, you have had all offseason to get this offense. And to me, with Liam as OC, I think Wolford wins the backup job. I do too. I really do. And, when it comes to roster spots, we talked about the linebackers. Receivers is going to be a tough cut. Outside linebacker is going to be a tough cut. There's going to be tough cuts all over. Do you carry 2 quarterbacks instead of 3? That's another thing Bowles was asked yesterday. You'll hear his answer here in a little bit. I think, somebody might be the odd man out. Nathan Elliott says, remember the Trask and Wolford was playing backups and cut chum. I think seeing those guys playing behind the starting O-line and starting skill players. The thing about that is, Nathan, and I get your point, absolutely, 100%, is, when you throw balls short, and he had at least 2-3 balls I thought that he threw short. You have starting corners out there. Those are picks. One was picked. The other 2 should have been picked.
Right.
So, and that doesn't matter who your O-line is. Yeah, if you're going to get pressure, but you also have to remember that the other, he wasn't going against number 1s either. So I think it kind of evens out that way. Inaccuracy is inaccuracy. And you just can't have it from a backup quarterback, from any quarterback, really, but especially with the backups.
Yeah. Bottom line, he looks, feels, smells, all of it like a backup quarterback. His play just reeks that.
Yeah, the number 1 dud was Hainsey. He was awful. Barton completely outshined him, and it wasn't even close. Well, again, we love Rob Hainsey, but he's been bad for a while. And, I think the Bucs thought Ryan Jensen was coming back last year. It didn't happen, so they had to go with Rob Hainsey. I don't think they would have done that had they not thought that
they were so concerned about it, by the way, that they took a center in the first round, which teams around the league just don't do.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the writing's on the wall. If you think Hainsey's starting, the only way Garen Barton doesn't start is if he can't snap the ball, and he'll be fine by the time the season starts. Buck Spateman said, I heard that the run game is even better. What they've showed in the preseason game was very tame compared to what it is. Yeah, we're not allowed to tell you about strategies and blocking schemes and stuff like that specifically, but yes, I can tell you it's much more elaborate than what you saw in the game. And I think it's good because if you look at the Bucs offensive linemen, they're all very mobile, and they draft that for a reason. They draft some smaller guys and then hope to beef them up, but have good athletes underneath, and that's what they have in all those guys. Those guys can move, especially Wirfs. I mean, Wirfs even at 335 pounds can move. Cody Mock can move. Graham Barton can move. Do you see how fast he gets off the ball?
Yeah,
It's
that's
really,
what I'm saying. Like he moves from one assignment to the next, like very quickly. Like it's amazing that the Bucs have a shot to go from Ryan Jensen to Graham Barton like that.
Xi Jinping said Klein was a road grader in the second half. Your Eminence, I agree. Absolutely. You have a keen eye. Did you see how happy Todd Bowles was with the play calling? You never saw that last year. I think that's true. Jordan G says, I'm comfortable with running with Bucky and Sean this season more than I have been with the running game the past 5 to 10 years. Don't forget Rashad White. Now, don't stop. Look, we all like the shiny new things in Bucky Irving. Rashad White is going to be fine. He almost had 1,000 yards last year in that crappy run game scheme. I'm telling you, he's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. He's going to be more than fine, in my opinion. Yeah, Bowles was definitely hugging him. What else we got here? James is saying 12 wins. I know you keep saying that. That's a tough order, my friend. That's a tough order. When Cody gets to play next to Gedeke, he will look solid. Yeah, I mean, I thought he looked solid anyway. Yeah, Nathan said this. Tucker needs to show he can block. He got destroyed on one blitz pickup and almost caused a sack. He just got – you can't get run by like that. You just can't.
And he probably won't see many run snaps, to be honest with you, as a third back. So you're going to have to block.
Yeah, he's got to be better. I think they keep 4 running backs, maybe not all on game day roster, but I think Edmonds might make the team early simply for pass pro. He's got to get out there, man. He just, he's too often injured.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's 3 players right now that aren't helping their cause, and that's Chase Edmonds, Servassier Dennis, and I'm going to go with Sterling Shepard as well. To me, those are the 3 players that are not helping their cause at the moment. Especially, I mean, Sterling Shepard. I mean, you see we didn't talk about the receivers really, but I thought the receivers made some really, really good plays in that game too.
Yeah, I see Ryan Miller and I see Canu, and those guys are, kind of smallish, not the fastest, quick, but not the fastest. I just don't think there's room for them. They play well. It's like
no, go ahead.
I think it was Sean McVay or somebody I heard saying that, the Bucs have a lot of good receivers and that they're going to have to cut. So people are going to come get them. No question.
Yeah. What I was going to say, Raheem Jarrett, he probably was on that bubble, but he made an outstanding catch in that game from Kyle Trask.
Oh God, yes. And that was a great throw by Trask under pressure.
That's kind of what I'm saying. I think you have McMillan, obviously. We saw the 2 plays he made. Looks as advertised, wide open.
Yeah.
So you have the big 3, Palmer, Raheem Jarrett. Like, to me, those 5 are probably set in stone. And then it's going to be a battle probably for that number 6 spot. And that's where I'm saying Sterling Shepard, I think if he doesn't get on the field, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I know he doesn't want to be in training camp. That's probably true. And he probably thinks that he showed enough that they know he can still play. But I don't know. The other guys are making plays, and they're younger. Yep. We'll see. Buck Spaceman said, did you see Devin White's preseason performance? It was the usual Devin White, a.k.a. leaving your gap, getting bounced by the O-line. No Levante anymore, Devin. That's what you wanted. Trash bag. I did not see it.
Did he hate watching Devin White on the preview? Was he hate watching?
I think he was.
Because you got to go out of your. I respect it. You got to go out of your way to go watch the Eagles play preseason football to watch Devin White.
No, I get it. He's got me. He's got me teased now. I'm pulling the tape. I got to go watch this. I'm going to be like, yeah. And I'm going to wonder. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check the Philadelphia media. I'm going to check. In fact, I'm going to call my boy up there, Johnny, and see. I'm like, I've already given him a heads up. So I bet he was on him this morning. Like, okay, Devin White, you talk a good game. Let's see you get off a block.
I did like, by the way, the zinger from I was immediately after the game. I watched Pewter Report's breakdown of the game with Scott Reynolds and Josh Capo. And I think Scott had said it because Ramon Jefferson scored a touchdown in this game, the running back, and he wears number 45 now. And he was like, it was good to see, a number 45 show some extra effort to make a play.
Shots
for
fired.
once. Because if you recall, Ramon Jefferson, he just kept the the legs turning and got in there. So
That
I
was
thought
a
that
nice
zinger
run.
was pretty good.
And well done. And yeah, he didn't run out of bounds. The quarterback coming to get him.
No, he did not.
That will go down as to me as Devin White's signature play. The quarterback throws the ball right to you, and then you got him one on one in open field for a pick six, and you run out of bounds. Oh, my foot was hurt.
Oh, goodness. See, Bucs Bateman started a bad thing here. See, I typed in Devin White into Twitter because I'm like, I got to see these plays. I'm tempted to put this play up on StreamYard right now.
Come on.
I got to put it up because this is classic Devin White here.
Okay.
Here, you read some comments. I'm going to bring it up.
All right. James says Trask has no excuses. He had Barton in the game and Cody. Also, what about the wide receiver depth, Jeppy? Yeah, it's fantastic. I love it. Lonnie Wilkins is in. Good morning to you, Lonnie. Now, how does Morgan Wallen walk out in Tampa Bay at Ray J? This was a dinner table conversation. What?
Well, he already had his concert. Didn't he come out with Baker on that one night that he played here?
Yeah.
The whole conversation. Did you see the video this weekend of Morgan Wallen played at Allegiant and he came out with Mike Tyson on his left or on his right and Tom Brady on his left?
Oh, nice.
And it looked pretty hype.
Nice. Well, what was I'm trying to what is he referring to here? Okay, here's the play. What do we got? Devin White.
It's gonna turn here in a second. Here's Devin White, 45.
All right. Got a little RPI. Yeah, get out of the way.
Yeah. I've seen how many times have you seen that one on Devin White's tape right there?
Oh, we put up
just
a
watch
big
45 go in and then
was your foot hurt there, Devin? What was it?
Let's watch it one more time for this.
Could this block be any easier? Look at this. I'm gonna get my hands on you.
Yep, and the run goes for 12 yards. There you go.
Good God. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna have to do some hate watching on the all 22.
Bucs basement. I can't believe you made us go down this route, but I'm glad I saw that clip.
Oh yeah. Lonnie says I said Gronk, Ric Flair, or Hogan, and someone in Flappy Boy hoodie. Oh my God. Have you seen this Flappy Boy stuff?
We'll get to the Rays in a little bit, but
Rays.
Oh my goodness.
God. What man would actually put that thing on?
Remember you made fun of this earlier in the year when we went through the promotional schedule, and I was so optimistic about it. I was like, "Oh, this is cool." And then I saw I think Evan Klosky put the video of him wearing the Flappy Boy hoodie.
Come on.
Nothing against Evan, but
Evan,
it was just
you're better than that.
I saw it and I'm like, "What the hell is that thing?" Like, who is rushing to the gate?
Okay, I wore my DJ Kitty onesie on Halloween a couple times. Yeah, I did. DJ Kitty, that's cool. The Flappy Boy thing. Oof. Come on. What are we doing here? It's not cute. It's not funny. Nathan says, I watched the entire Devin White and Ryan Clark interview. Devin completely said he wanted to play with Levante David in that video. Devin played bad. Not surprised. Said he wanted to play? No, he said he wanted to get out of his shadow, I think is what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I saw, Nathan. James says, I realize the preseason, but all the reserve played fairly well. Very few mental errors. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. There's different. The team is together. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mario Christian says, yeah, number 45, baby. Yeah, that's our man. Can't believe the Morgan Tampa concert in July. He walked out with Baker throwback jersey, but no celebrity like usual. Yeah, where's Hogan?
Oh, we weren't. Maybe we were supposed to. Maybe it was supposed to be there for the second night that he was supposed to play on Friday night before he
got drunk and couldn't post.
Sickness, huh? Sickness.
Yeah. Yeah, he had the Dale Mabry flu. That's what he had. All right, let's take a break. We had 40 minutes of Bucs football right there for you, kids. So glad football season is here. We got so much more to get to. News on the FSU lawsuit. We got to get that. News is good, as predicted. There's so many highlights around the league. You said you watch a ton of football. I did too. We'll come back and talk about all the other stuff going on. Our top 5 and low 5 at the Olympics with Brooke Bennett's coming up at 11:15. And whatever you guys want to talk about, go ahead and hit it up there in the comment section, and we'll do it as well. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Go ahead. If you're involved in an accident, make sure you have their phone number. Just look up Jeeves Law Group. Go to their website, jeeveslawgroup.com. Call them and make sure you do that within 2 weeks. You got to go see a doctor as well, but get your attorney. He will refer to you to a great doctor as well, and they will get a great settlement for you or take it to court. That's what they do at the Jeeves Law Group. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. So make sure if you have any legal needs at all, it is the Jeeves Law Group, our good friend Scott Jeeves. He is local. Keep it local, folks, as we always say here on the J.P. Peterson Show. Not attorney spokesman, offices Tampa and St. Pete. Back in 3. Stay with us. Celebrate August with the dazzling green hue of peridot, known for its vibrant and refreshing sparkle. Yes, that's the birthstone of August at the Gold and Diamond Source. Explore the Gold and Diamond Source's stunning collection of peridot jewelry, showcasing the gemstone's unique glow and versatility in rings, necklaces, and earrings. Peridot's distinctive color makes it a standout choice for any occasion, adding a touch of elegance and charm to your ensemble. Enjoy 15% off when you shop August Gems online only. Stop by the Gold and Diamond Source to experience the allure of August Gem and let their expert staff help you find the perfect peridot piece. It's the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Olmsted Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Hey, it's football season, so we welcome back the FSU Football Report every Monday and Friday on the J.P. Peterson Show, sponsored by those huge FSU fans at Italiano Insurance. Folks, they've been 60 years, named the Small Business of the Year Chamber of Commerce, mostly because of their incredible customer service. So they'll save you money as well. Just do a quick insurance checkup, 813-877-7799. They just saved me $500 on homeowners insurance. Who's doing that? Yeah, they just shopped it around, found a better, cheaper company, and we got a cheaper price. And business insurance, make sure you're covered or you could lose your personal wealth. That's 813-877-7799, ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Noles.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the US Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right, that's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units, and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, that's John Rodriguez and Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Topper Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass, We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks. A great Italian meal, baby. Cafe Paradiso on South McDill there. The lasagna is to die for. They also have the sausage rigatoni in the red, like kind of a pink sauce. I don't know if he makes that just for me, and they'll make things by the way to order. You go in there, he'll hate me saying this, but they do it all the time because they got real chefs back there and they're not looking at like some corporate thing like, oh, this is how you make the cavatini. It's like, yeah, if this is what you want something special, they'll be happy to do it for you because they're real cooks and they know what they're doing at Cafe Paradiso. So head on over there and tell them JP sent you. Faux show. All right, should we get the Todd Bowles interview in here? You want to talk? Let's talk some other stories here before we get into that. Do a little raise. By the way, the ESPN sucks FSU logo stickers were tagged all over Ybor on Saturday during the FSU bar crawl. Oh yeah, cannot wait to get to Dublin in a couple of weeks. There's going to be signs. Oh my God, that could be one of the most confrontational game days ever. Like, seriously, every sign, what are they going to do? Block them all out? They can't.
I mean, I've been to game day in the crowd in the pit once, and they do, when you walk in, you have to go through this little section, and they do check every sign.
Do they?
Yeah, they do. I don't know about the whole crowd, but at least when you're in the pit, because I think that's what they can see on TV. They definitely monitor all those signs.
Well, what are they going to do? Like every negative sign they're going to take away?
Not negative. It's just if you have profanity or something like, a bad word, I'm sure. Like, I think stuff like that will get taken.
Oh yeah,
away.
yeah. We're not encouraging.
Be creative. Be creative. With your slander,
because they allow a lot.
They allow a
lot. They've been, but it's risque stuff. But it's normally about other coaches and stuff like that. When it's directly pointed at Kirk Herbstreit. Like, how many Kirk Herbstreit signs are they going to be?
I don't think they're going to be bothered by it. I don't think Kirk is necessarily.
He's public enemy number one, bro.
He's public enemy number one.
Like, every time he talks, it's going to be a resounding boo. You're not even be able to hear him.
Right, but I think he's okay with it. Like, I don't think he's like pissed off at the FSU fan base that they hate him. Like, I think he's okay with it.
No, he's not. He hates it. He hates it. And he hates us.
I don't know.
We hate him and ESPN. Hey, I already gave Norvell his talking points, so let's make sure it does it. Rick's up this morning. We got to put his snarky stuff in here. Not surprising, JP using DJ Kitty onesie as a Halloween costume. Yeah, and I rocked it, by the way. The Rays, at least as far as you know, the Rays have been pretending to be an MLB team for years. Devin White has a bruised. What is that? A bruise. By the way, that's the workmen are next door again. Wow, that's bad. Google translate it. Meow has a kucha.
No, I got it.
Oh, I think I know what you're saying there. Yeah,
I got it. We don't need to go. I don't need to Google.
Here, read a few.
What'd you say? Did you block out?
Put it on mute because they got the saw going next door here. So read a couple of these while they take care of it.
Yeah, it seems like everybody wants to. Lonnie said here, someone get JP a Flappy Boy hoodie. Please, I saw that thing come across my Twitter on Friday, and it was, I mean, I don't know who thinks that looks good. The DJ Kitty one I thought had some charm to it. I don't know what charm or what we got out of that the other night. I mean, people ate it up, whatever. But no, the Rays I thought actually this week were they're slowly turning back into unwatchable territory again. The offense is just absolutely pathetic. Johnny DeLuca is hitting leadoff for the Rays all of a sudden, which I don't know what time zone we're in or zone we're in right now, twilight zone, where Johnny DeLuca is hitting leadoff for us. Taylor Wall is still doing nothing at the plate. A lot of guys are doing nothing.
Got pinch hit for yesterday, and they actually scored a run. Imagine that.
Yeah, imagine that. You can do that. But
yeah.
I know they won the game
should
yesterday.
Never bat after. If you're in a tight game, he should not be batting after the 7th inning.
Right, and they won the game yesterday.
Anybody on base.
Did you see the way they got the game-winning run?
Yeah.
It was in the most raised way possible.
It was a walk, a steal, another double steal.
Walk, double steal, and then a sac fly.
Yeah, and then another walk, and then sac fly. Yeah, off of.
It wasn't even an entertaining way. No. It just sort of was manufactured. Which whatever, you got to do what you got to do. But no,
great job by Jeffrey Springs, by the way. Looked fantastic.
He was great.
His third time back, that was
Fairbanks was great to end it.
Fairbanks nailed it down. That was good. What they had no hits through 7 or 8.
I don't know if it was quite 8 innings, but
yeah.
It wasn't looking good there. Especially, it wasn't looking good on Saturday for sure. I know they were. Like Corbin Burns had them sliced and diced, and I was like, they had that game on Fox, like Big Fox.
Yeah,
and I was just like, we don't need to put the Rays on.
No,
on
God,
Fox.
with that?
We don't need to do that. But it did. I'm so upset that I did not go to the Saturday game, actually.
Why?
Because I had it marked on my calendar, and I don't know if I forgot about it or what. But so they had the summer concert series Saturday night. One of my favorite country artists, Riley Green.
Yeah, Riley Green
he threw out. He did batting practice before. He cranks them out. Freaking forearms are crazy. He's just jacked. So he throws out the first pitch then, and then he performs a concert. And I've never seen like these summer concert really. So I was like, I wonder how many people are going to be there. I watched it on his Instagram story. I mean, there were a lot of people there that were on the field and in the stands as well. It looked like a great time. And I'm regretting that I didn't go because it was only like $10 to like buy a ticket to like actually be on the field right after.
Oh,
but I totally forgot about it. But it looked like a good time, even though the Rays lost.
Yeah, it's a really interesting concept is have a concert and people show up and they think it's actually for you. It's a great concept, working very well for certain candidate. Lonnie says, imagine being this team in a different universe when we added Randy and Glass now at the deadline. We'd be uber confident, but Ray's going to say, okay, Ray's going to Ray. I agree, Nick. It's hard to watch. Yeah, imagine this team with that actually kept some of those players. I think Randy's doing pretty good with Seattle, isn't he?
Yeah, not really. I mean, last I checked, it wasn't looking great for Isak or Randy at the moment.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not bothered by those trades really. But no, I was going to say, I mean, guess who had a home run yesterday in Durham? Again,
Junior Caminero.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to see him up here.
But he's not ready. He's not ready. Andrew says he's not ready.
Yeah, he's not ready.
Yeah, insulting my intelligence.
Rays need to face Craig Kimbrell more after yesterday. Yeah, he's always dramatic. Definitely, yeah. So they lost the first two. The first one Friday was a dud, right? No shot. And then, yeah. By the way, we just kind of brushed this off. Like, in what universe do you trade away your best pitcher to a division rival that is desperate for starting pitcher? Zach Eflin.
About best pitcher.
He wasn't our best pitcher?
He was not the best pitcher on the Rays this year.
No. Over the last couple of years, he was 16-8 with a 3.50 last year.
He was really good last year. This year, I thought he was average.
Been okay.
And he was making a lot of money to be average.
Making a lot of money. He's making like $8 million this year. He's supposed to make what, $18 million next year?
That's my point. Like, he's average to make that much money.
$18 million is average for a starting pitcher.
Who cares though? The Rays. It's about getting the best deal. The Rays got a really good deal out of Zach Eflin.
They did.
Yes.
You trade away a top line starter and get no major leaguers back, and that's a good deal to your division rival when you're still in it. I mean, you and I know.
You thought the Rays are still in it.
You and I know they're not in it, but
the Rays know they're not in it. The Rays know they're not in it.
Yeah, that's probably.
The Rays are proving to you right now they're not. They know they're not in it.
Still, nobody trades.
I mean, we got Jose Siri playing first base.
Pitcher.
We got Brandon Lau playing first base. We got Johnny DeLuca hitting leadoff. We got Junior Caminero still in AAA. Does this sound like a team to you that is trying to?
That's all self-inflicted, though, Nick. That's all self-inflicted. You don't have to do that unless you're the cheapest team in the league or one of the cheapest team in the league, and you got to get rid of salary. Are we a better team with Tyler Glass now? Yes. Are we a better team with Zach Eflin? Yes. Now you could sit here and say, well, Jeffrey Springs is coming back. Okay. Is he? Pitched well yesterday. Is he going to pitch well next year? I don't know. Is Pepio going to pitch good next year? I don't know. Is Taj Bradley going to be the one we saw for 9 games or the one we saw the last 2? You know what young pitchers do? They're inconsistent from start to start. You know what older pitchers do with a track record? They're not. They're much better. So I'm so tired of everybody. He's not worth the money. It ain't your freaking money.
You're right. It's not my money.
We had a $45 million payroll next year. We could actually spend to the league average and add another $120 million just to get to the league average. You know who we could have for that kind of money? You don't have to start trading away every player because he makes $18 million. I don't care if he's average. If he's an average starter, he's going to get you eat some innings. And by the way, Tyler Glasnow was not average, but it's like, yeah, is it a lot of money? Yeah, it's a lot of money. It ain't my money. In baseball, that's what other teams are spending. Why can't we do the same? That's the point. Yes. They're all overpaid, for God's sakes. That's how you win. You got to overpay some that aren't so good and hope you get,
well, I mean, Zach Eflin, I'll give Zach Eflin this. He pitched his best game of the season against the Rays on Friday.
Dominated.
Which, by the way, I haven't had a chance to even say this. I am like, who gives a crap about what Zach Eflin said on his way out or after his first start in Baltimore? Who gives a crap?
Rays fans.
Everybody was like throwing a
Rays
fit.
Fans,
everybody's throwing a fit.
Insecure.
Like this is some, it's on right now. Zach Eflin hate club here. And people are like, oh, I'm going to bring a sign to Friday's game. I'm here to boo Zach. Like I saw these signs that people were putting on social media. Like I'm here to boo Zach Eflin. Get over it. It's a harmless comment.
What? Because he said what? That they fill up the stadium and the fans are into it? Truth.
Literally, did he lie? Did he lie?
No, he didn't lie.
Now, did he have to say it? Maybe not, but we don't need to
put your Flappy Boy hoodie on and bring your little Eflin sign because he said the truth and the truth hurts.
I didn't really. Everybody was like, oh, just so up in arms over that comment, and I just whatever. I really don't care. But I know that he diced the Rays up on Friday night, so he got the better end of that equation.
You want to say he's not a good pitcher? Ask the Rays lineup.
No, but yeah, the problem with the Rays and why they're really not in it is JP is they can win series all they want, but when's the last time they won 3 games in a row, 4 games in a row, 5 games in a row? Yeah, it's like they only win. The most winning streak they get is 2, and then they'll lose 1, or they'll lose 2 and then win 1. Like that's all they do. They just keep going back and forth of like win 2, lose 1, win 1, lose 2.
Their wins seem like miracles.
Like they can't put together a winning streak, and that's why they're not moving right now. Yeah. They're just average. They're just average.
As John Hill says, you never trade a good player to a division rival. You traded one of your best pitchers, one of your best pitchers to a pitching starved team. And I don't think you got all that much back. We'll see.
We'll see.
Bunch of prospects. All right, which uniform is better, City Connect or Devil Rays? I'm keeping Devil Rays.
Devil Rays.
Listen, I at the beginning, I kind of like the City Connects. The more I see them worn, did you see St. Louis's City Connect, the Lou, with the 2 birds on the.
Yeah, it's ugly.
What?
Yeah, it's ugly.
What?
It's ugly.
You're out of your mind.
It's boring.
With the big birds, but bright red and yellow. You liked it.
The Rays had actual
smoky charcoal and the neon.
Well, let me tell you this. I'm not
classic red and gold of the St.
I might not be crazy about the dark on dark on the uniform. Like if they had white pants to go with the charcoal top, I think we'd be onto something. I don't know if I'm crazy about that, but I give the Rays a lot of points because there clearly was a lot of thought put into theirs and some creativity. And some of these around the league, like the Tigers, for example, we're just going to write Motor City on our uniform.
Okay, well, I didn't say the Tigers. I said St. Louis. I thought they were.
Oh, what's so innovative about that? We're just going to write.
It doesn't have to be innovative.
We're just going to add another cardinal there on top.
Progressive doesn't mean it's good, as Joe Madden said.
Progressive doesn't always mean it's good. I'm judging the uniform by how it looks.
Because it's a new idea doesn't make it a good idea. Joe Madden, love that.
I still love the Devil, but anyway. I still love the Devil Rays more because I think that should be the everyday uniform.
Yeah.
But
I
I'll
like-
always love that one. But that doesn't mean I don't like the City Connects.
They
Have their play. Both have their place.
Done with them by now. Still like
Both have their place. Christopher Cole did make a comment here. Isak doesn't strike out every other bat and make a bad throw every other game like Morel.
Christopher Morel has not impressed.
No. Some of the things that Christian Morel has had issues with, and Lonnie may be able to speak to this because I believe he's a Cubs fan too.
Yeah.
But the thing with Christopher Morel right now is I don't know if he has a position. So either he's DHing or I don't really know where he fit. Like, he has obviously more pop than anybody in the lineup not named Brandon Lau, clearly. But I don't know where he fits defensively on this team because he ain't your third baseman. I mean, clearly that's where Junior needs to go.
He's going to be the second baseman, I think, is their plan.
I don't think he can play second base either. I think he has to be literally your DH.
You can't make him your DH.
He's
got to have a position.
He's bad defensively. I don't know where you put him.
Yeah. I thought he was supposed to be a better second baseman.
But here's the thing too. It's like at the same time, batting average, you can believe in it if you want, whatever. I don't like guys hitting 190. That will always bother me, no matter what else you do. Hitting 190 is a little different.
It's not okay.
And Morel, I mean, he's obviously a free big swinger. So he's got some mechanics in that swing he needs to clean up. And the fact that he doesn't have a position kind of scares me a little bit.
Lonnie says the same skateboards banned on the pier. Oh, wait. I thought we were championing the skateboard culture, the big skateboard culture. We can't skateboard on the pier?
Such a hater. Such a hater.
Wow. God, I'm not hating. It's the city of St. Pete's hating.
You're hating. You're hating
No,
all
I'm
over
not.
the City Connects today.
No, I'm not. I'm like, well, the city
Raise
Connect.
Lou a few game in the City Connects, and all of a sudden they're ugly. They look terrible. Burn them down. It's like if the Bucs won 4 Super Bowls in the '80s, wearing the creamsicles, it'd be like the creamsicles are the best. They're awesome.
That's the whole point. They didn't. They can't win a game.
You're making opinions based on how they perform in those uniforms.
No, I'm still like, if they were like, it's, something comes out, you're like, oh, that's cool. And then the more you look at it, you're like, meh. This James says, does Siri have picks of stew? What's Siri batting? 207 now?
I mean, it's what Jose Siri is. We already know that.
Yeah, the Jason Adam and Sean Armstrong got the better hauls. I don't think we gave away Eflin to a division rival for nothing. JP will like this. Our minor league team would tag the wrong account for the visiting team on social media today. They tagged the porn account. Which one is it? I want to know. That's awesome. Oh, all right. Good stuff on the Rays here. All right. We'll take another break. We'll come back and we'll go around the NFL. 11:15. Brooke Bennett's going to join us for our top 5 and low 5 from the Olympics. Great weekend in the Olympics. I love the Olympics. Huge ratings. The USA basketball game. Did you see that, Nick? See Steph Curry bail him out?
Fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Awesome stuff. All right. We're brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Go see Chris Lugo, as Nick and I have done, and Peter and Scott Reynolds. Make him your primary care because he spends time with you folks. I have seen and heard so many horror stories from the medical community over the last 3 or 4 years. It's terrible. It's frightening out there. When you go to the hospital, you need somebody who's going to advocate for you and your personal health, that's going to educate you in your personal health. And that's Christopher Lugo. He'll get your blood work done and go over it with you for an hour plus and come up with a personal plan for your immune system, for your workouts, for your nutrition. He's an expert at all this stuff. Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Folks, just don't go with the usual Western medicine stuff. They're going to kill you. I'm telling you. Go with somebody who actually cares and thinks outside the box. And that's Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Back in 3. Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all, it's the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you. All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. JP here to ask the question, are you planning an event, meeting, or conference? If so, you'll want to call the designers and production professionals at Extravaganza Productions Incorporated. With over 35 years of experience in the events industry, designing and producing every type of small to large event, they can provide a huge resource for design ideas, audio, visual, sound, lighting, decor, and entertainment to turn your event into an incredible experience for the entire audience. Folks, I've worked up close and personal with this group at many national events and Tampa events, and they have unique capabilities that help you save time and money in the planning and execution of your next event. Don't delay. Call these pros today at 813-621-4700 or check out their website at extravaganzaproductions.com. Tell them JP sent you and they'll provide a free initial consultation for your event. Extravaganza Productions, the best in the business. Golfers, listen up. The hottest new driving range craze has come to Rogers Park in Tampa. The Top Tracer range is now open 10 to 9 p.m. And just like you see on TV, every shot is tracked for yardage and accuracy, giving you immediate feedback. And best of all, you can virtually play the top courses like Pebble Beach or St. Andrews with your buddies. Plus, great food and drink options available in the well-appointed hitting bays. Very comfortable out there. Reservations highly recommended, starting at $25 per hour, including balls. Reserve at RogersParkGolf.net. That's RogersParkGolf.net. See you there.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here on this Football Monday, baby. Nick Geddes from On3 Sports joining me here. We're brought to you by the Rogers Park Top Tracer Golf Range. If you haven't been out there, folks, it is phenomenal. Brand new range area there, 10 bays. Nice and cool. They have the big fans going on. You can order beers, great food out there. $25 an hour on the lower times, up to 45. And there's lots of $25 an hour times, by the way, folks, that you can choose from. They're charging $65, $75, $85 for the same stuff all around the nation. So you can get it for a great price. Rogers Park there, $25 an hour, up to $45 an hour. And that includes all your golf balls, 4 guys. You can play the different courses on the Top Tracer technology there. Just hit balls and get great feedback on what's going on with your golf swing. So head on out there to the Top Tracer range at Rogers Park. Play the short course. You can walk the short course for $9, which is absolutely phenomenal. Gary Koch, Steve Smyer's design. And the 18 holes is also tremendous with a couple of holes right there on the Hillsborough River. Greatest value in golf, Rogers Park. Love it. Absolutely love it. All right. Around the NFL we go. Nick Geddes. I thought one of the greatest performances, and again, let's give the Kenny Pickett preamble to this. Remember how great Kenny Pickett was in the preseason last year? And we all thought he was going to be great with the Steelers. Maybe not so much. Jaden Daniels, who obviously the Bucs will see in week 1 against the Washington Commanders when they come to town, had a beautiful deep ball, ran for a touchdown on an RPO with ease. He scares me. He scares me, Nick Geddes. I've already got bets laid down on him for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Go get your money down because I think this is a shoo-in for Jaden Daniels.
Ooh, a shoo-in. It's a tough competition this year. I don't know if one of these quarterbacks is going to win it. But, yeah, he only threw 3 throws. One of them was a bad. He threw one right before he threw that bomb. He had his worst throw of the 3. But, yeah, he for one drive, go get a scoring, get off the field. I think that's as good as you want to see from if you're Washington.
Yeah.
I think the big whenever it was talked about was Caleb Williams. I watched all his few drives.
Look good
against the Bills, and man, I mean, He already looks like the most talent. He probably is the most just pure talented quarterback in the history of the Chicago Bears. I mean, it just comes out different out of his arm. I'll give him that. And he had a moment too. We talked a lot about him in the draft process about how he operates in the pocket. And first throw, he just sticks right in there. O-line gives him good protection, and he just rips a freaking just bullet for his first completion in the NFL. And then everybody was going crazy over the one he made on the run.
Yeah, that was a great
to Komet. So good start for Caleb Williams as well.
Yeah, he's got great talent. They got him some great weapons. I just think the Bears are going to bear. Somehow they'll F this up.
If they F this up, the Bears, because, you look at the offense, they got playmakers everywhere. The O-line is much better. How can they?
Yeah, but the expectations are just ridiculous.
Well, yeah, I think people that think they're going to walk in and win 10 games, I think that needs to be
simmered
down a little bit. I think we need to relax there. But it has a chance to be the most fun Bears offense we've ever seen. And again, the expectations for that are very low. But
maybe even throw for 4,000 yards.
Yeah, we might be able
never
to
had a 4,000-yard thrower.
Yeah.
In that's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah.
Bo Nix, 15 of 21, I believe he was.
He was sharp.
He was sharp.
Really sharp.
Had a couple of nice RPO runs. Looks like Sean Payton embracing the RPO.
Yeah.
They led four scoring drives, 15 of 21 for 125.
He looked the most he played like a grown-up, I felt like. Sometimes I can watch rookies and they look very skittish and kind of uncomfortable. Bo Nix looked just very locked in. Very locked in. And listen, he's the one that had 65 college starts or something?
Yeah, he played.
Maybe we shouldn't be surprised by that, but he looked really good.
And those are all, Caleb Williams, had 20 some starts, or did he play 3 years? I'm trying to remember.
He played 3 years. He had the year. He had the half season at Oklahoma, and then the 2 at USC.
And speaking of guys who didn't play a lot of football in college, Trey Lance, 41 throws and ran for 44 yards as well for the Cowboys, as Dak Prescott watched in his civvies, as did CeeDee Lamb.
As Tom Brady watched on his suit as well. He was there. Did you see that, by the way? The NFL completely just gave everybody they messed up. Their social media team messed up, is the easiest way to say it. They posted a video of Brady coming into SoFi, and they tagged it getting ready, saying that he was getting ready to make his broadcast debut.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody thought that Tom Brady was going to be in the booth for that game yesterday, and there was some buzz about it. And then we flip over to NFL Network, and Tom Brady's not talking. And then all of a sudden, the NFL deletes the tweet. He was making his quote-unquote broadcast debut in a test run for Fox with Kevin Burkhardt, but it was not heard, and we were all misled by the NFL. So,
not cool.
Not
typical. Hendon Hooker made his Lions debut and looked pretty good, but got a concussion. Steamrolled some dude. Absolutely steamrolled some dude on a run.
Yeah, unfortunate. Finally gets to play and gets a concussion right away.
Hasn't played in 21 months since injuring his ACL at Tennessee.
And he's 26 years old, by the way, too.
Yeah, and he's got a concussion, or he's in protocol.
Yeah,
so we'll see. Anybody else? Did you see Sean McVay mic'd up?
Sean McVay on the coach cam was awesome. Awesome. I mean, I don't listen. I know coach would sign up to do that during a real game, clearly. But Sean McVay, I could listen to him just call out plays ahead of time and stuff like that. That was really cool. But I was going to say, I actually thought the best quarterback performance of the week, maybe besides Bo Nix, I thought it was J.J. McCarthy. And I know J.J.
He looked good.
Outside of the pick that he threw, J.J. played really, really well. He pushed the ball down the field, which I thought that was the one thing we all wanted to see because he got that knock against him. You never pushed the ball down the field at Michigan. Yeah. He did it in that game. He looked really good. Michael Penix also quietly had a really good game. I think 9 for 15 for 106.
He did look really
good. He had a good performance. So, I mean, all around, the rookies, I thought all impressed. They all had good moments.
I heard some people talking about Michael Penix is going to be the starter week 8. They're like, Kirk Cousins he's going to beat out Kirk Cousins. I don't know about that. I don't know. You think Kirk Cousins is making way too much money to get replaced?
Yeah, I don't see that. I will say a big injury to the Falcons this week. Rondell Moore, I think he tore his ACL maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just saying, everybody that's like all buying into the Falcons, their wide receiver 3 as of right now is Ray McLeod.
Well, great
Okay.
Ray. I love Ray.
Yeah, Tampa local, love him, but he's not my wide receiver 3. I'm just saying. And again, the Falcons also Braylon Trice, their 3rd round edge rusher, who was getting reps with the ones. He tore his ACL too. He's out for the season. So the Falcons, their draft class has like nothing that's actually going to contribute to the season for them.
Yeah.
And they have no receivers outside of the top 2. So I don't know where this Falcons love is coming from, is my general point there.
They get Kirk Cousins, everybody goes, wow. Oh, they got Kirk Cousins, so now they're going to be better. No. We'll see. Love it though. Keep picking them. All right, let's talk some Olympics with our own 3-time gold medal winning champion, the great Brooke Bennett. What's up, Brooke? How are you, my friend?
I'm good. I didn't know what to do this morning when I turned my TV on, and I just had to go to basic news that there was no more Olympics.
Yeah, don't go to a news program.
I think my boss at CFY is probably happy, but you guys gave me one more day to geek out over the Olympics.
Yes, well, let's geek away. I've always been a huge Olympic fan, but I don't know. I probably watched more Olympics this time than I've ever watched. And Team USA crushed it. 126 total medals, by far away the most, tied with China with 40 golds. And so many great stories, which we're going to get into. I thought it was just fascinating. Fantastic.
JV, I love hearing that. And I heard a lot of that. And I don't know if I can set you as an example, because I know you're the sports guy and you'll watch and talk anything that involves sports. So, I'm kind of the same way. You give me an opportunity to watch live sports and I'm going to pick it over anything else on TV. But I do hope that people got more into the Olympic Games, and I hope that people got into the Olympic Games for the sports aspect of it. And I think we can go into that conversation when you wanted me to come up with kind of my top 5s and then my takeaways from Paris, that it is an opportunity for these athletes to shine. And we are getting to hear their stories on how they got to the Olympic stage. And I love that moment. I love seeing the sports, but I want to know their stories, because it allows us, and we know the stories in the NFL, we know the stories when the players make it to the NBA and the MLB and the NHL, and that's great. But this is a moment in time for these athletes that we don't hear a lot about. We don't know anything about them until they get onto that stage, and they should get that moment to shine. They should get those featured stories, because as I've been saying, and kind of in the office talk here this morning, this is a moment of 15 minutes of fame for these Olympians. And once the flame goes out that we saw last night, once that is put out, we saw Leon Marchand do that last night for closing ceremonies. For many of them, it is now shifting and going back to normal life. Many of these athletes will go to college. Many of these athletes will go back to jobs.
To work.
I was talking to Dean Clark's dad, who was on the men's 8 rowing team that won bronze. And he's getting ready to start a new position at a job up in Boston. So, where so many of them can go and do these appearances in media, now you're going back home into normal life. So over these last 2 weeks, we've had this opportunity to get to know them. And I love that part about it.
Well said. Well said. Because let's just be honest, so many of them toil in obscurity in training, and no one cares about. Nobody's showing up for your 8-hour swim starting at 4:00 in the morning, Brooke, unfortunately, right?
Exactly.
The crowds aren't out. We're sleeping while you're swimming 1,000 miles. And that's what's like for so many of these athletes. That's what they're doing. And then this is their moment. And that to me is really always been the great thing about the Olympics. These guys and gals just for years and years and years for this one moment. and it's, and don't blow it.
Right.
The pressure is just unbelievable. And
Yeah.
then they go out and perform in such inspiring ways. And
Yeah.
so I loved it. I can't get enough of it.
Right.
I could have it. I wish we had Olympics every year, but then it wouldn't be as special.
Yeah.
So let's go. Let's do your top 5.
Mhm.
And then I'll give my top 5. You went deeper. I saw the one you did for NBC, and you went deep into some of these stories, which I love. And I'll do the most obvious ones probably, but
Yeah.
you go first.
Well, and when so we, we're gonna do my top 5 performances out of Paris. I can mention, I think there were a lot of great performances by non-Americans, which I get it just as excited about. I mentioned Leon Marchand, who trains here and is going to end up going and following Bob Bowman to Texas, and to see what he did and kind of take that country by storm, and just the representation that he has is great. I loved Djokovic finishing up, what I think is going to be his career, and love him or hate him on the court, what he's done to tennis, and he's always shown so much emotion. I love that match. I loved the women's marathon last night. The lady from the Netherlands that won that, she ran over 38 miles during her Olympic competitions from the women's 5,000, 10,000, and then into the marathon. And she ends up finishing yesterday with so much heart and gusto at the end of a 26.2, and
insane.
Literally is patient and waits her time. And that was like her 38th mile of the Olympic Games. And then they give her the gold medal there at closing ceremonies in the stadium. Those are moments that we as Americans should be grateful for. I know we root on our Americans, and I'm going to get to my top 5 of them, but I wanted to talk just a minute about those. So I'll give you my top 5. My number 5 is Cole Hawker, the 1,500 meter gold. What an amazing performance. Probably one of the biggest upsets on the track, as far as you just don't think of Team USA and those
distance running.
Those and another one that was great was his teammate Grant Fisher, which is kind of my honorable mention.
Yes.
Getting the bronze in both the 5 and the 10,000, which hasn't been done since I think
forever.
the early 1900s or something.
Yes.
Right?
We don't run long distances like everybody else. That's amazing.
Love where USA track and field is coming on the distance side of things.
Yes.
So Cole Hawker was my number 5. Kristen Faulkner, the cyclist that won double gold, actually. So the individual road race, and then the team went on to win gold too. The great thing, and when I say learning these athletes' stories, she picked up cycling 3 years ago. Would wake up every morning. Actually, her first bike was borrowed from a friend. And every morning before she went to work in New York City, she worked for like a venture capital fund company. She would ride Central Park. And then 3 years later, you're an Olympic champion. And so that story to me is like, especially for ladies, I believe she's in her 30s. Don't count yourself out. Don't doubt things that you want to accomplish as a woman, as an older, and I say older, as an older woman. Right. What we can do is really to our imagination and then our mental toughness. So I love her story. Amit Alor is my number 3. She was the 20-year-old wrestler that claimed gold. So I love, she's the youngest wrestler to ever get a gold medal in an original sport. And I know where we've seen wrestling sit out, and we're starting to see these new sports come in and go out. But to see not just by Amit, but really overall in wrestling, like, where I think in the years past we were down, and just the tremendous growth that we've had in wrestling, and Amit at 20 years old.
20 years old. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's amazing. Sydney McLaughlin-Leverny is my number 2. So winning the 400 meter hurdles, she lowered her own world record, and then she's the first female to ever repeat her gold from 4 years prior. So I love that story. And I think she is just such a class act. We're going to get more on kind of my other things, but her and Gabby Thomas and how they carry themselves on the track and outside of their sports.
Agreed.
I think they're both sensational role models for our youth today. And then I'm going strong hometown hero
Yeah,
as
of
my
course you
number
are.
one. Clearwater's own Bobby Fink defending his 1500-meter gold and doing it in world record fashion, breaking one of the most controversial world records that were still standing in swimming. That had been held since 2012.
Yep.
And what we saw in Bobby and why I think why I know it's my number one is that was a very different race than what we typically see him do, where Bobby will hold back and then try to back half that event and pass the field. And when he dove off the block and on his first 100 split had the lead, I knew that we were going to see
Something
something
special is happening.
sensational.
Yeah.
And that was so the Sunday prior to the last one, when we were all dealing with the tropical storm and then what became a hurricane, I watched like 12 hours of Olympic coverage that day. Dude, I was pacing my living room with him. And when he kept getting a little ahead of that world record line and I knew he could come home, I was like, I said it after Olympic trials. I said it to many people in my circle. I go, if Bobby swims the race that I know he's capable of doing, he can and will break that world record. And that is my number one best performance out of Paris.
So many inspirational moments there. I love all those ones, and many that folks don't know about. And those individual stories are what makes it great. Now, mine will be a little bit more obvious. You mentioned Djokovic, and I love, and the reason it was my top five is because of the emotion that we saw from him, and because he's accomplished everything in tennis in his sport, and been somewhat controversial along the way, to some. Yeah, but he's always, kind of gone to his own beat. And I think this was a moment where everyone could embrace him because of that emotion. And we saw it from Scotty Scheffler as well. Here's another guy that, just has won the Masters twice, but clearly when the national anthem was playing and he was on that medal stand, we saw emotion from him we've never seen. So to me, two big time athletes that everybody knows about, showing some vulnerability was really, really cool, and how much it means to them to win for their countries and not themselves, which I thought was really, really cool. And another big name guy, it's just going to performance that'll go down in history, and that's Stephen Curry. The 4 big threes that he hit yesterday when the USA was kind of flailing a little bit and France was making his run. Those are just big time moments. And, those are for basketball, these are always historic, the gold medal team. And that will be just something that so many people will take away from these games. And then Stephen, the pommel horse guy, Noda Rosic. Did I say that?
Yes,
I just love that story of just, him doing nothing but help, supporting his teammates through the entire event. And it just the last event in the team all around, the reason he was there, the pommel horse, and he just, with all that pressure, just, takes off the glasses and just nails it. And I love the halfway through the dismount, he's already got this big, shiz-eating grin on his face, knowing he just nailed it. And the medal, first time in 16 years for the men to medal. That was just a really, one of those anonymous people that just comes out of nowhere to have a moment. And then Simone, I'll do this, my gymnastics top 5, just watching her just perform. She's just so breathtaking, and everything that she does, I still don't understand how human beings can move that way and flip that way. And just her class and elegance. I love that part of it. I got to throw Bobby Fink in there as my number 2, just for the hometown guy. And what an emotional moment that was for the entire team. And just watching, like, I wasn't pacing like you were, but I was like, come on, don't, because he went out so fast. I didn't know if he had the gas left, but clearly he was not going to be denied. And that was awesome. And then that Noah Lyles 100, the 100 is just, it may be, for some, me growing up, that was the moment of the Olympics. Like, okay, who's going to win the 100? Who's going to be the fastest man in the world? Right. We have to know that. We always, and we didn't know. Well, it was like, he's coming down the stretch. And you're like, oh, come on. And did he get it? Did he get it? No, he didn't get it. Oh, he lost. And then they're looking up at the scoreboard. It's what seemed like an eternity. And then it flashed that he was the winner. And it's like, he did it. And So those are 5 moments that I won't forget from these Olympics. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, but and there's so many, and there's, so many not mentioned. And during
Yeah.
my podcast with What's Hot in Paris, we did the top 5 performances. I went in and did my Mount Rushmores for men and women over time.
Oh,
And so,
nice.
and Simone Biles and Ledecky, I know in my top 5 performances, I didn't put them down, but I started to get really critical, and I really wanted to give, that moment of fame to those athletes that, Amit
yes.
Allure, like, we're not going to hear much of
Nope.
her. A Cole Hawker, we're not going to. But when you and I said, even when I did the top 5 performances on Friday in What's Hot in Paris, Katie Ledecky winning 4 years in a row, 4 Peats, 4 Olympic Games of the 800-meter freestyle, and the race that she did against Ariana Titmus from Australia, which she knew she was coming, and that was probably Katie's toughest race, I would say, of these Olympic Games. The reason why I didn't put her on my top 5 is because what we expect out of a Katie, or what we would expect out of a Simone Biles is,
yeah.
Your level of competing is up here.
Yeah.
So a world record, winning the 4 Pete, a perfect 10 or some 10s in there. So not that I take anything away from like you putting her on your list.
No, you're
like
just
that.
giving some shine to the people that nobody knows.
But those names and having the Simone, and where I said, I feel like we're back seeing her compete where we felt that she should be, and so I do credit all of the viewers and the fans on that. And I love the support between the girls, even the controversy coming out now in gymnastics with Jordan having to give back that bronze medal and how that's going to play out. I saw a wonderful post that Simone made supporting her and letting her know that we're going to be here through this. And no matter what happens, there are so many great memories out of Paris, and we don't want to see this tarnish, her career or her memory. So I felt that.
If I can interrupt, what's the right and wrong there? Do you know? Like, I don't understand the whole thing. It's like, there's like the degree of difficulty wasn't factored in or something.
So I tried to read over and read numerous articles of, that the coaches on Team USA, you have a minute to submit. They're basically saying that they were 4 seconds late. USA Gymnastics is now appealing that, saying that there is a video, there is a timestamp that they did present the question and the scoring at around the 47-second mark. But yes, I guess the question is the degree of difficulty, and coaches have the opportunity to challenge it.
Yeah.
So, we're going to have to sit back and kind of wait to see how that
plays out. Is that the sticking point, or what? Did she actually win it? But did they screw up the scoring? Because if they screwed it up, and now we're talking about, did you get it submitted in time? Come on.
That's what it's coming down to. So if they didn't get it submitted in time, then the score is wrong, and they screwed up with presenting, and it should have gone to the Romanian. And it's a very hard situation. And, even to stuff, I mean, you can read up. I didn't even know in track and field that it was the chest or the clavicle that has
the torso
first, because I did think that Noah was second in that race. But then you start to dig a little bit deeper. And I was even surprised that they went to the thousandths of a second. In swimming, that would never happen. It would have been called a tie. So now I have read, comments and stuff, nothing that I see legit, or it would change the outcome that award would be different. But if you don't go to the thousandth of the second, then the 2 gentlemen tie, and you put both of them on the medal stand as gold medalists. You don't have a silver medalist at that point in time. You have a bronze medalist.
That's okay.
So that's, that's kind of a conversation too on if that would happen. And like, for example, in swimming back in 2000 in the Olympics that I competed in, both of our Americans, Gary Hall and Anthony Irvin, tied for the gold medal in the 50 freestyle. And we only go down to the 100th of a second. So those guys both received gold medals, and then you have a 3rd place finisher.
I like that.
There's a lot of, and I think as you get into sports and like gymnastics, and, there are so many technical rules.
Yeah.
that it's even yesterday, it was very hard for me to follow on what the heck was going on. And on either side of it, you want to make sure that both girls are honored correctly. And would the decision at this point in time be to present both of them
I
with
think
the bronze medal?
I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
Like, and
I think
again, asking an athlete that didn't come out until days later. It wasn't the moment. We're not hearing this until days later after the competition, that there needs to be a decision rather than going and literally, ripping Jordan apart and having her return something that's been awarded. Is the better decision to award the Romanian gymnast with the bronze medal and let them share that?
I think that's a much
I'll put myself in their shoes. If I was the Romanian who was left, I would be honored to share the podium.
Heck yeah.
With the other gymnasts.
I think Jordan would love that
time. It feels right. Now, if we're going into drug testing, which we saw another great story come out where the figure skating team was awarded their gold medal after the Russian figure skater had tested positive. Finally, it's the right thing to do. But I feel so bad for the 16-year-old Russian, because I said this too. I don't know where in the heck do you think that a 16-year-old on her own would take something,
right?
That is some corruption inside.
That's coming from the coaches. That's coming from the coaches or the organization, which we know what they're.
And at this point in time, if she has a 4-year ban, you have to think that her career is probably over, because those girls are so young, and by the time we come up to the 2026 Olympics, her ban will still be in effect. So
she's unfortunately that's going to be dumb. All right, I know you got to go. So, do you have your low five? Do you have your farcical? I said ask. Okay. What do you got?
So, of course, my number one is the Seine River that we just had to talk
the
about.
River
that.
Poo.
Yeah. Talk about it so much. It went off. Yeah. There's been articles of athletes, being sick, and a couple of the marathon swimmers, throwing up, and, we have to talk about throwing up and diarrhea. Like, really? Do we have to talk about that kind of stuff? I mean, I can tell you in all the marathon swims I've ever done, I've never, and I've swam in numerous bodies of water that aren't the greatest, but still clean and safe. And I never experienced any of that, just a lot of fatigue.
So that's on both of our lists.
I do question, and I might get a lot of heat of this. Look, Flavor Flav and Snoop Dogg as the faces of Team USA, of two gentlemen that I'm not quite sure what their athletic backgrounds are. Sure, from a
they're world-class smokers. I know that.
From a standpoint of always wanting to know what they're going to do or what they're going to say or how they carry themselves, I say that aspect is fun, but I would love to see an Allison Felix. I would love to see more of a Carl Lewis. We saw Michael Phelps there. Where was Dara Torres? So I think, have that Hollywood side of things is great. But there's a lot of past Olympians that can come and we can promote through the Olympic Games, and that's what this is all about. So I say have them, but don't forget about the athletes that have been there and what they can bring to the table.
Amen.
I think the uproar on opening ceremonies was a little bit ridiculous. We all have our opinions, but come on, we're in France. They are going to be completely out there and artistic. I think that was the same thing that we saw in closing ceremonies. And then breaking. Can we just say, been there, done that? We don't have to do it again.
The Australian breakdancer will go down in history as we're talking about the Olympic Games and what will people remember? That might be something. Then it was something. I don't know what it was. I don't know what kind of seizure she had, but that was interesting.
But I watched it. I watched it. I actually went on Saturday.
Some of it was really good.
I went on, and again, but I'm not discrediting that some of it wasn't great.
It was good. Some of it was good.
New York City, and you've been in the subways, and you've traveled into big cities, you see this. So it was Is it the place for the Olympic stage?
No,
No, it's not.
no,
But
it's
it's
not.
been there and it's done that, and we had
Let's be
some
done with
major
that.
laughs to it. It just, again, I would, I know boxing is sitting on the fence right now, possibly going to be out at the 2028 Olympics.
Good.
Basically, the IOC is calling and saying that they need to get their crap together
Yeah.
in order to be considered. Do
Yeah,
the
that
job
that
what
was
the
that
IOC
was a
is
stain.
asking.
That was a
But
stain on the Olympics. And boxing used to be one of the great things
right,
about the Olympics, but
right.
not anymore, especially this year. The Austrian, and I thought it was their name, Allison Young, the twerker, the Canadian pole vaulter who twerked her way to another 200,000 fans on her OnlyFans account.
Oh, yes.
I thought that was very well
Yeah,
executed,
yeah.
where she faked the hammy and then banged the twerk. That was nice, nice to do.
Mhm.
And we'll never forget the French pole vaulter. That's all I'll say. We'll never
Yes,
forget the
I know,
in the
right?
over-sexualized
He's
Paris
set,
Olympics.
right?
Yeah, we'll just leave that there. Nick, I said if you have any of your top 5, throw it in here, partner.
I mean, you guys touched on a lot of them, but I was going to mention back to track, Quincy Hall. I think it was the 400 meter, just because of the excitement at the end, because he turned the last 100 meters when he turned the corner, he was in 4th place, like nowhere near the front, and then he hit another gear, and I think he won by less than a second or whatever it was. So I thought that was great from Quincy Hall.
Mhm.
The U.S. women's national team for soccer, I think a lot of people are curious how they were going to fare, because they've kind of, switched off from the older guard and they had the younger guard, and that trio up front, and it was led by Mallory Swanson, was fantastic. She scored the game-winning goal on Saturday against Brazil.
Yeah.
So we pick up that gold medal there. But I was going to ask you.
The coach after the game, Mike Tirico, she was very adamant about, she's an English coach, more than England, but had coached in the United States, and said America made her. And Mike Tirico goes, why is it so important for you to win for America? She says, America made me, and I love that country. And that was that was a really cool moment, I thought.
Yeah. She was a legit coach, like in Europe. Like she was I think she was the manager of Chelsea for a while, and won a lot of their titles over there. But I was going to ask you, Brooke, though, because, and you might probably have a more biased look at this, because I was going to say a lot of people were talking about this Olympics and how great they were. And a lot of people were comparing it to 1996 in Atlanta.
Mhm.
And I know that those were the Olympics that you won your gold medal. I'm just curious, as a whole, like, how do you think this one compared to that one as some of the best Olympics we've seen?
Nick, it's a good question, but it's kind of a hard question for me to answer because I was competing then. So I think my view on like the 96 and the 2000 Olympics is very different, because I viewed it as a competitor, not as a, as a spectator. I think as a spectator, I enjoyed these Olympic Games more than any of them in the past. Tokyo was very hard to watch because it felt very isolated, and there wasn't as much excitement around it, even though our athletes did an amazing job. But I thought everything except for the Seine River. I thought all the venues, from a spectator's point of view, watching everything on TV, was spectacular. I even liked the opening ceremonies. I know it was a very different look, and the drone footage that we got, the faraways, the things like that, and
I wish it didn't rain.
I just thought it was very, very creative.
The Olympic cauldron in a balloon, that was
I mean,
so cool.
It was like nothing that we had seen before, and I know sometimes it's like, if we're not expecting it, we don't like it, and we're just so quick to jump to conclusions on it, to where, like the backdrops. And I had an interview with Janet Evans, who was on the LA 28 committee. I interviewed her on Friday, and she was saying, how do you compete with Paris with the backdrops? But I thought we saw a great example of that yesterday in closing ceremonies, that you go from a very artsy country and city and all the historic sites around Paris, which we really got to learn more about. And then we go to a concert with Red Hot Chili Peppers on the beach in LA. I mean, and it's like I said to Janet, like beach volleyball is going to be on
the beach.
and your backdrop is going to be the Pacific Ocean.
It's not too
Now,
shabby.
to me, who is a water phenom, basically, that wants to live and breathe by it, that is a beautiful venue to me where I'm like, it's the Eiffel Tower. It's beautiful. I've been there before. It's great. It doesn't fit my vibe.
Yeah.
To where LA 28 and the beach surroundings fit my personality. So I'm very excited about that. But I think, Nick, to answer your question, I don't know how I can compare the two, but I felt very lucky on how Atlanta and Sydney hosted for an athlete. I will be very curious to some of the athletes that I know well, how I actually get to hear about their experiences.
There was a lot of bad
because it was a
stuff for the
lot. I
athletes.
mean, we heard of the beds, but then it
Cardboard
kind of died
beds,
out.
non-air conditioning,
And
the
then
long bus
we heard a
rides.
little bit about the food, but then it kind of died out. So you know, the issues of getting in and out of the village for the athletes. I mean, there are always going to be something, but overall, I mean, if there were 40 to 50 athletes competing with COVID and that was it, that's a pretty good number.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it could have been a whole lot worse. So, I hats off to Paris.
They did.
Hats off to them.
There's always going to be some issues, no question
Always.
about it. But
When
this,
you put
to
that
me,
many countries and people together, but
and there were I was scared that there, especially after the first day we have riots and fires on the trains and everything. I'm like, oh, this is going to be really bad in Paris. And it didn't happen. And thank God nothing really bad happened, because I was worried about that. So I think all in all, it wasn't perfect, but that was awesome. I'm going to miss it. No question about it.
I know.
Well, Brooke, tell us about CFY before you go, and tell everybody how they can help out with youth. And, you're doing great work there. Start with the kids and get them in sports. Nothing but good things going to happen.
Yeah, this has been a great home for me. I've been with CFY Clearwater for Youth coming up. This will be completing my third year. I operate as the development manager here, and we facilitate funds really in 3 core areas to children in Pinellas County. So we originated as the programmer where kids played youth sports. We now facilitate the funds really in 3 ways. So athletic reimbursement. So children that attend Title I schools and want to play youth sports, they are eligible to receive funds for us so that they can lower the registration cost to allow those kids to play a season. We do equipment grants with those programs, which are a 50-50 match. So, think we're in youth football right now. That's new helmets, that's new pads. We are currently supporting 9 youth football and cheer programs in Pinellas County. On average, it's about $13,000 to $15,000 per program when you do athlete reimbursement and equipment matches. We also help those programs out if they qualify for any tournament. We will assist with travel for those programs to go to where they need to be to compete. And then we also have our education portion of giving. So we do post-secondary scholarships. We'll have that coming up in March of 2025. That application process opens for high school seniors in Pinellas County in November, where they can submit. We'll be giving out 30 post-secondary scholarships. And then our new partnership is with SPC, and we will have 10 scholarships to give out to SPC this year. So a total of 40 kids will receive post-secondary education through CFY. And then our third area of giving is our newest that started in 2022 when I arrived. Shocking that it's water safety. We have the Fred Fisher Water Safety Program, which we named after our founder, Fred Fisher, who passed away last fall. So we renamed the Water Safety Program after him. And we work with Title I elementary schools in Pinellas County with local community and city pools that we bus children during their school day for 2 weeks. Kids that are in kindergarten through 2nd grade, they go and receive 2 weeks of water safety lessons.
That's awesome.
So overall
Much
this
needed.
year, we will be assisting 15,000 children in Pinellas County, and our overall giving at the end of the year is going to be very close to about $1 million.
Well, that's awesome, Brooke.
Yeah.
Appreciate
So
you.
learn
and your-
more, cfypinellas.org. You can find my contact on there. Reach out to me if you have a business, know somebody that would be interested. We are always looking for new partnerships and to expand our network.
It's great. The greatest gift you can give to the
It
kids
is.
in sports. I really believe that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brooke. Awesome
Thank
stuff as
you.
always. Really appreciate you.
It.
Right. We'll
See you
talk to you
guys.
soon. Thanks. Great. Brooke Bennett there, 3-time gold medalist.
And a Durant High
him.
School alum, by the way.
Oh,
Fellow
that's right.
Durant High School alum.
Well, you should have did a little shout out there for you guys. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Cougs go.
She probably has the most gold medals at Durant High, probably.
I believe she's actually the most decorated athlete, anything to
think
be
so.
at Durant High School ever.
Yeah.
We've had
I
some
think in all Hillsborough schools, she probably leads the gold medal count.
She definitely
Not just Durant.
She probably would lead the gold medal count, but she's definitely the most notable attendee of Durant High School ever.
Yeah. Well, you're catching her quick. All right. Quick break here. We'll come back and finish things up. Got a quick note on the Florida State lawsuit that we got this weekend. So we are brought to you by Extravaganza Productions, our great friends over there, Paul Thomason and Dolly Brown. They do a great job. Get your free creative session over there. If you got a charity event, a big family event coming up, a business event that you need some good audio visual professionals to help you out or just create a great theme for you. They do the creative part as well as the logistical part extremely well with some of the biggest events in the area and some of the smallest. So EPI is where you go, extravaganzaproductions.com, and get all their contact information. Tell them JP sent you. Back in 3. Stay with us. Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all, it's the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you.
All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com.
JP here to ask the question, are you planning an event, meeting, or conference? If so, you'll want to call the designers and production professionals at Extravaganza Productions Incorporated. With over 35 years of experience in the events industry, designing and producing every type of small to large event, they can provide a huge resource for design ideas, audio, visual, sound, lighting, decor, and entertainment to turn your event into an incredible experience for the entire audience. Folks, I've worked up close and personal with this group at many national events and Tampa events, and they have unique capabilities that help you save time and money in the planning and execution of your next event. Don't delay. Call these pros today at 813-621-4700 or check out their website at extravaganzaproductions.com. Tell them JP sent you, and they'll provide a free initial consultation for your event. Extravaganza Productions, the best in the business. Golfers, listen up. The hottest new driving range craze has come to Rogers Park in Tampa. The Top Tracer range is now open 10 to 9 p.m. And just like you see on TV, every shot is tracked for yardage and accuracy, giving you immediate feedback. And best of all, you can virtually play the top courses like Pebble Beach or St. Andrews with your buddies. Plus, great food and drink options available in the well-appointed hitting bays. Very comfortable out there. Reservations highly recommended, starting at $25 per hour, including balls. Reserve at rogersparkgolf.net. That's rogersparkgolf.net. See you there.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Source. Dudes, jewelry's not just for ladies. Go over there and check out the great selection they have of baller watches, all kinds, every brand, from the tags to the Rolexes to the Breitlings. They've got them all over there. Great prices. Also, guys wearing nice rings now, wearing some bracelets. You got chains you can buy, cufflinks, all those cool things. Lots of stuff for you dudes at the Gold and Diamond Source. So go on over there, get some bling, and tell them JP sent you. Great folks up there at Julie and Steve Weintraub and all the great things they do in the community. Keep it local at the Gold and Diamond Source. All right, so a couple of notes on the FSU thing. Over the weekend, did a little bit of research and a couple of, now that the deal has been out there, the heavily redacted deal, a lot of people weighing in on the legalities of it. Bottom line is it appears in all different legal interpretations, but in 2021, it appears that Jim Phillips unilaterally extended the ESPN agreement, which now there's some even discourse as whether it goes to 2027 or 2036. Now that it's become more public, there's a lot more legal holes and openings in it. So, and what's not in dispute is clearly in the ACC bylaws, it says that any media rights deal involving the entire conference has to have a 2/3 positive vote by its members. And clearly that was never done, which is really weird. Why a conference would just blatantly violate their own bylaws in order to do a deal that's 50 cents on the dollar and only enriches ESPN and keeps your schools not getting as much revenue as they should. And certainly the higher schools, Clemson and FSU, really not getting what their media rights are worth. So this is going to be settled, as Scott Jeeves, who come on this program, has said, and many other legal experts. It's doubtful it will go to trial. And now more and more things that are coming out in the, FSU is winning more battles in court. This thing is going to get resolved in a settlement that I think is going to be way more palatable for FSU and Clemson than we ever thought. And I think North Carolina, Miami, and others will realize that they can get out for next to nothing and redo their media rights, which they should be able to do, and to stay competitive. And it's not just for FSU, who did all the legwork here and took all the bullets. But I think this is going to lead to a very different ACC in the coming future. And the date is August 15th. So we got 3 days until FSU has to notify the ACC if they're going to stay in for 2025, I think it is. Yeah. So we shall see. What else did we not get to here today, my friend?
Oh, I did want to bring up my little clips from NASCAR yesterday.
Yes.
Because this was nutty. So to set the scene briefly for you, there's 4 races left in the regular season, and the way the system works is 16 drivers get in, and if you win a race, just one, and it doesn't matter what you do in any other race, you can finish last in every other race, but if you win one race, you qualify for the playoffs. And so there were 4 spots that were open of guys who had not won yet. And yesterday, Austin Dillon, driver of the number 3 car, the historic number 3 car. We all know who drove that car in the past. And he's 32nd in points out of 36 drivers this year. He's had a horrible season, and he's having the race of his life at Richmond last night. And he's about to win the race with 2 laps to go, and there's a wreck right in front of him. The only wreck of the night with 2 laps to go. So everybody's got to come down to pit road before they do a green, white checkered finish. And Austin Dillon on the restart gets passed pretty easily by Joey Logano. And here it is on the last lap, the call from NBC.
All right.
Going into turns 3 and 4 at Richmond, and you'll see what Austin Dillon did here.
Joey Logano through 3 and 4 for the final time. There's the contact. He does get to him. The 11 on the inside. He gets it. Oh! Dillon's going to win it at the line.
Oh, my God. Oof. What? How did he get through the second one? So he just sends Logano into the wall.
He sends Logano into the wall, and then Hamlin comes here trying to steal it, as you see. I'll play it again.
Yeah.
The 11 on the inside.
Where did the 11 do?
Dylan's gonna win it.
Did he get the 11 too?
Yeah, he took out the 11 too. And with a crazy part about this, JP, is on his radio, his spotter, after he takes out Logano, is screaming at him, wreck him, wreck him, wreck him, to get rid of Hamlin. And that's what Austin Dillon did. And he wins this race, and now is in the playoffs.
I want to see it again. Let me see the whole thing.
Want to see it again? Yeah, we'll start from the beginning.
Joey Logano through 3 and 4 for the final time. There's
You're
the
done.
contact.
Get out of my way.
He does get to him. The 11 on the inside.
Oh, let him oh my God.
Dylan's gonna win it as a line.
Wreck him.
And I have no idea. I mean, this seems pretty. It was pretty. You could tell this was intentional, and we have the radio of his spotter telling him wreck him. But it doesn't seem like NASCAR's going to take this win away. Interesting decision. But yeah, madness last night at Richmond. Joey Logano was pissed.
No fisticuffs? We get any fisticuffs?
Well, they held him back from the fisticuffs, but after the race, he called him he said it right there on the USA broadcast, and it wasn't bleeped out. He called him a chicken shit. And then and Austin Dillon the entire time is on the track, and he's doing his on-track interview, and he's praising God. I can't thank God enough. And he's got his little baby in his arms, and Joey Logano's like, and he's out there on the track praising God, and he's got his baby in his arm. It's a bunch of BS. Like, it was just classic, like just old school NASCAR.
NASCAR needs this, man. This NASCAR needs lots of this. That's fantastic stuff. Hey, old Dale would have done the same damn thing, brother.
He did do the same thing back at Bristol in '99. He did the exact same thing. So he got booed for it. It's kind of weird. Austin Dillon got cheered. Dale Sr. got booed by 140,000 at Bristol in '99. So I don't know if it's right or wrong, but it was crazy.
Rubbin's racing. So's wrecking. Absolutely.
He's in the playoffs.
All right. Great job, Nick. Appreciate you. Thanks to Brooke Bennett for being so generous with her time. That was a great Olympic segment. If you missed it, of course, we did our Bucs Bengals recap in the first segment. So if you missed anything, it's always available as a podcast. Please like and subscribe on the JP Peterson Show, FanStream Sports on YouTube, and, of course, also on our podcasts on Spotify and Apple and anywhere you get your podcasts. We'll be back tomorrow with Scott Reynolds and company. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.